Welcome to our deep dive into two critical web security vulnerabilities, session fixation and session donation attacks. If you're a web developer, security professional, or just interested in making the web safer, this video is for you. Understanding these types of attacks is crucial for building robust and secure web applications. We'll break down how each works, their differences, and how you can protect against them. Before we dive into the attacks, let's quickly define what a session is in the context of web applications. A session is a period of interaction between a user and a web server. Sessions allow web applications to maintain state across multiple requests from the same user, remembering things like login status, shopping cart contents, or user preferences. First up, session fixation. This attack occurs when an attacker fixes a user's session ID before the user logs in, making it possible for the attacker to hijack the authenticated session. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of how a session fixation attack typically unfolds. The attacker first obtains a valid, unauthenticated session ID from the target website. Then they trick the victim into using this specific session ID, often through a malicious link or social engineering. When the victim logs into the website, they authenticate using the session ID provided by the attacker, not a newly generated one. The server associates the victim's authenticated state with this preset ID. Because the attacker already knows this session ID, they can then use it to access the victim's authenticated session, potentially gaining access to sensitive information or performing actions on their behalf. To prevent session fixation, web applications should always generate a new session ID after a successful user authentication. Also, invalidating old session IDs is crucial. Now, let's shift our focus to session donation. This attack is less common, but equally dangerous, involving an attacker donating their own authenticated session to a victim. A session donation attack often occurs in applications where users can share content or collaborate, leading to a situation where the victim unknowingly logs into the attacker's account. The attacker tricks the victim into logging into the attacker's own already authenticated account. This might happen through a shared link or a compromised application feature. Once the victim logs in, the attacker now has access to the victim's session on the attacker's own account, allowing them to monitor activities or manipulate data within that shared context. Prevention involves robust session management, including session ID regeneration on authentication, and careful validation of shared links and collaborative features. Let's summarize the key differences between these two attack types. Session fixation involves an attacker providing a session ID to the victim, while session donation involves an attacker's session being used by the victim. The goal of session fixation is to hijack the victim's authenticated session, whereas session donation aims for the victim to use the attacker's session, often to monitor or manipulate. In conclusion, both session fixation and session donation highlight the critical importance of secure session management in web applications. Always prioritize strong session ID generation, rotation, and invalidation practices. Educating users about phishing and malicious links is also key. By understanding these vulnerabilities and implementing proper defenses, you can significantly enhance the security of your web applications. Stay vigilant and secure.